Hello everyone and welcome to the new FMBooth Foto Master Photo Booth app tutorial. In this tutorial, we will teach you everything you need to know about the app to get you started. We will go through the different screens and familiarize ourselves with its backend settings. Your first introduction to the app after downloading it from the App Store is the login window. Here, you will enter your email address as registered with Foto Master and your password. If you don't have your password at hand, click Forgot Password to generate a new one. Check your inbox for your new password. Once you log into the software, you will see a dashboard that allows you to select an event and a preset. In addition to that, you will see a quick Edit section where you can quickly edit your preset and its building blocks, the workflow, photo layout, and video output. We will further discuss all these entities very soon. The app comes preloaded with several presets and assets including animations, overlays, backgrounds, video clips, and more. To begin, you can select one of the preset on the right side and click the play button. We will see several prompt windows asking us for permissions such as using the camera, microphone, and such. Make sure to click Allow to ensure the smooth performance of the app. A few shortcuts you should know about in the app are long press the top right corner of your iPad to view the gallery. You'll be able to see all the different photos and videos that you created during your event. To go back to the settings from the experience view, long press the top left corner. This will take you back to the settings. The app settings view has several main screens. To navigate between them, click the back button at the top left corner to open the main navigation bar. You can click on Events to navigate to events, Presets to navigate to presets, etc. The Events screen lists all the created events. Here, you can create new events and edit existing ones. Every created event is saved as a folder in the app's Files section. This folder can be accessed at any time by clicking the folder icon. This folder retains all the photos, videos, and other media saved while having this event selected. Click Add Event to create a new event. Click on an event to edit its name, date, and time. If you had the chance to run a few sessions with the software, you will see them in this window. You can filter the sessions according to the sessions with video saved or photo saved, whether emails and texts were sent, photos printed, and more. You can click each session to see a preview of the saved file and other information about it. A preset is a way for us to create a link between a workflow, a photo layout, and a video output that will define the experience that we are aiming to create for our guests. The preset screen will show us a list of presets. To add a preset, click Add Preset. Click on the newly created preset to rename it and select the building blocks for the experience the preset will provide. Click Select Workflow to select a workflow from the list. Click Selected Photo Layout to select a photo layout from the list. And Selected Video Output to select a video output from the list. Click the Save button at the bottom of the screen to save your changes. Make sure you have all three building blocks selected. You can combine different workflows with different layouts and outputs. The same workflow can be used in several presets, and the same layout can be used combined with several different workflows. The mix and match allows you maximum flexibility. Here are a few icons you should know about that you'll see in this screen and other screens as well. The back button to go back to the previous screen or the navigation bar. The play button that you can click anytime to play the selected preset. The save button to save the changes. The arrows button that allows you to rearrange the list. And sliding an item to the left in order to delete it or to create a copy of that. Similarly to the preset screen, the workflow screen shows you a list of workflows. Tap on the workflow to take a closer look. Now, what is a workflow? A workflow is a list of commands that creates the script for your experience. Each line in the workflow is called a state. States can be features or animations, and they each have their own settings. The order of the states is very important because when we hit play and run the experience, the states will play one after the other in the order they appear in the workflow. There are many different features to choose from. We can capture a photo, record a video, send an email or a text, print, and even control our Bluetooth devices such as the LED lights and the vMotion 180 arm. We can also select amongst the different animations and even create a list of animations to appear on the same state randomly or in an order. We can rearrange states, duplicate states, and delete them or add new ones. We can select an existing workflow and edit it, or we can create a completely new one. To create a new workflow, click on the back button to go back to the workflow screen and the Add Workflow button. Tap on the newly created workflow and rename it to easily find it later. Now let's create a simple workflow from scratch. First things first, click Add State. A new line with the state type animation will appear on screen. To change the state type, click on it and select the desired state. I will start with the state animation. Tap on an empty area to edit the state. We will now be able to select amongst the animations on your iPad. The animations are divided into different categories, and you can scroll through the categories like this. Scroll to choose a specific animation under this category. As you can see, a preview of this animation will appear on the right. All these animations are included with your initial content. To download more animations, you can go to the Cloud Center and download additional presets. We will talk about this later on. There are different trigger types you can set for each animation. The most commonly used are time and touch. If you set touch, that means that once you touch the screen while your animation is playing, the next state will be triggered, and the workflow will continue on. If you set it to time, the animation will appear on the screen for the selected amount of time, and then the workflow will continue. As our second state, I will add another animation, but this time I will select an animation list. The animation list allows me to add multiple animations to appear on this state, one after the other, every time I run the workflow, or if I want to, they will appear randomly. So each time I run the workflow and the animation appears on the screen, it will be a different animation. This will help you create a diverse experience with different animations coming up every time. To add animations to the list, select the category, for example, before photo. Make sure your trigger is set to time and the delay is set to the desired amount of time. Then, click Add Animation for each animation that you'd like to add to the list. You will see these animations added below. Quick reminder, don't forget to hit Save once in a while. Now our workflow has a touch to start and an animation for before photo. Now let's add a state with an animation from the category Countdown. Let's select Countdown 3 to 1 and change the trigger delay to 3 because 3 to 1 will only take about 3 seconds. Now we'll add another state, this time a feature state. I will select the feature Capture Photo. For the next state, I will add another animation, this time from the category Complement. Now, let's add another feature, the Preview Final Photo. You will notice that the Preview Final Photo has many advanced settings. For example, you can enable retake. Make sure that if you enable retake, your retake steps back will take you to the right spot in the workflow. For example, in our case, we need to go 3 steps back to reach the animation countdown. If someone clicks retake on this preview final photo state, I would want them to be able to go back to countdown and retake their photo. Another super important feature I will add to the workflow is the Save Final Photo feature. Before we finish our workflow, we can also add a print feature, an email feature, an SMS feature, or a share screen feature that will offer us one or more of the above. To complete our workflow, I will add another animation state at the end from the category Finish. This is an example of a very simple workflow. Some of the states that you may want to add are Live View Start, LED with the desired color and pattern, games, a video recording, and more. Feel free to add different states and experiment with them while learning the software. Now, I would like to show you how you can use more than one preset in an event using the multi-selection screen. In order to use this feature, all you need to do is add a feature state to the workflow, select the multi-selection screen from the list of features. Once you selected it, you can click on the Add Preset thumb button at the bottom left corner of the screen and select the preset you want to use. Press on that button again to add another preset for your guest to select. In order to change the preset selected, simply click on its name and select the one that you'd like. The thumbnails for these presets will appear on the preview section on the right side of the screen, and you can enable visual editing in order to place the thumbnails in the desired location. You can also scale them, rotate them, and reposition them. As a background, you can select a solid color from the color palette on the right side, or you can select a photo background or a video background. Once you're happy with the position of the thumbnail on your screen, you can enable transparency and hide it from view. If you're happy with the result, press play and check out your new multi-preset. The photo layout screen consists of a list of different photo layout designs. Tap to check out some of the samples. Remember, you can always create more photo layouts of your own or download existing presets with other layouts from the Download Center. We will discuss the Download Center later on. This layout, for example, consists of 2 visual elements, a workflow photo and an external image. The photo layout editing screen allows you to move elements around as well as change different settings. There are two ways of moving the elements. You can either use the pixel values for left, top, height, width, and angle. Another option is to click the Enable Visual Editing toggle button at the top right to enable moving elements around using touch. You will notice that some of the elements appear on top of each other. To change the order of their appearance, click the arrows button at the bottom left corner to rearrange them. You can also show and hide the preview of each element by clicking the eye icon, and to view different settings for each element if you click the settings icon. Now let's go back to the photo layouts list and create our own photo layout. Tap the newly created photo layout. Click the pencil icon in order to rename your layout. You can change the width and height of your print. 1200 over 800 in pixels is the exact size for your 4x6 printout. If you prefer a landscape layout, you can change it to 1800 over 1200. If you want to change it to strips, select the print size to 2x2x6. This will let your printer know to cut the strips in the middle to create 2 copies of 2x6 strips. To add a new visual element, click the Add Visual Element button at the bottom. Visual elements can be an external image, a QR code, a signature, text, or a workflow photo, meaning a photo captured during your workflow. Of course, that means when choosing a workflow, make sure you have a capture photo state in it. To edit settings for a particular visual element, tap on the settings icon. Here are a few examples of the settings in the photo visual element. You can change the opacity of the element using the slider. You can add a filter to the photo, and you can add a hair filter, so every person to take a photo, their hair will be replaced to whatever color you choose. You can also add a background filter. That means that the photo will have a background removal effect on it, and the background in their photo will be replaced with the image that you choose. Click back to go back to the photo layout screen. Now add another visual element, and this time select an external image. Click on the Settings button, and you will notice that the settings this time are a little different. You can select an overlay, foreground, or a background. And you can also add new ones by clicking the plus button and load them from your own photo gallery on your iPad. Remember, you can always rearrange the elements to fit perfectly. Here's an easy way to do that. First, I will click the eye icon on the external image, and then I will enable visual editing so I can place the workflow photo in the center. Now that I click the eye icon again, my overlay is revealed and I can see that my workflow photo looks perfectly. The video output screen is a list of different video outputs. The video output allows you to pre-edit the videos that will be recorded during your event. How does it happen? Tap one of the outputs to take a closer look. Let's scroll to the timeline first. The timeline consists of entities we call clips. Each clip can be either a recording or external media like a pre-roll or a post-roll. All those clips combined create a video output. To this output, we can add an overlay and even a soundtrack. If you want to add your own overlay, for example, like a logo to appear on the entire video output, click the plus icon and load it from your albums on your iPad. The soundtrack folder is located in the Files section of the app. If you want to add your own MP3 soundtrack, you can do that. We can also edit each clip by tapping on it. Now let's hit play and check out our preset. Now let's go back to the video outputs list and create our own video output. Click Add Video Output. Click Add Clip to add your first clip. You will now see your new clip added to the timeline. The recording clip can be added more than once. The recording length will vary depending on your settings in the workflow. The output is built in a way that will fit any recording length. As you will notice, we refer to the recording in percentages instead of time in seconds. This allows us the flexibility of building an output to fit any recording length. Click on the newly added clip of the type recording to view additional settings. Here, you will be able to trim the clip, again in percentages. For example, if you change your clip to start at 25% and your recording was 4 seconds, the first second of your clip will be trimmed and your clip will start from second 2. Similarly, if you're recording 8 seconds, the first 2 seconds will be trimmed and your recording will start from second 3. See? Your video output will create a result relative to your workflow. The same very output can be used with different workflows and different recording lengths. You can also set the clip speed to create slow-mo or fast-mo videos. You can enable a reverse clip for a boomerang effect, change volume, add an overlay on top of the clip by selecting one from the Clip Overlays folder. You can also add your own overlay by clicking the plus button and loading an overlay from your albums. Another thing you can do is add filters on your clips. Click Add Filter to add a filter. Tap on the newly added filter to select the type of filter that you want to apply and the starting and ending point for each. A fun way of playing with the filter is changing it halfway through. For example, click Add Filter, tap on the line, and select a filter type. Then, set the time for the filter to start at 0% and end at 50%. Go back to edit the recording, click Add Filter again, tap the newly added filter, and this time select a different filter to start at 50% and end at 100%. Here is another example of how you can create a fun output. This time with a boomerang effect. Add a clip to the timeline of the type recording, then add another clip to the timeline of the type recording. This time, tap on the second recording and enable reverse clip. Now the output that will be created will be the recording plus the recording in reverse, aka boomerang. We suggest that you play around with different combinations of filters, speeds, overlays, and pre-rolls to add as an external clip. Before we go over the rest of the screens, let's go back to our dashboard and connect our newly created workflow, photo layout, and video output to create a new preset. Want to change something before you proceed? Simply click on them to add it in the Quick Edit section. Check out the Download Center and Cloud presets provided with the software in the Download Center screen. tap the Cloud presets to view a list of presets that are not on your iPad yet. Tap on each preset to view a preview. Click play to check it out and click download if you'd like to download the preset. If you choose to download the preset itself and all its entities, including output, workflow, layout, animations, and everything else, will be all downloaded on your iPad. All these assets will be accessible to you. Go back to the Download Center screen and tap on Activity Log to see the progress. The status under Download Complete will change to Yes once the preset and all its assets finish downloading. The Global Settings screen allows you to change general settings. For example, you can choose the camera type, whether you want to use a wide-angle camera or the built-in True Depth camera. The built-in True Depth camera allows you to use features like background removal and hair selection. You can also use the ultra-wide-angled cameras or other cameras that come with your new iPad Pro. The Global Settings screen is also where you can connect to your Bluetooth LED device and change settings for your print pal. This section is also where you can change the settings for your email, for example, add a disclaimer, or add the required information for Twilio for when you want to use texting. To learn more about the advanced settings and features, check out the full user manual. I truly hope that you enjoyed this tutorial and that it gave you an idea of how to get started with this app. Of course, we couldn't cover everything, but there's nothing like playing around with the app to get to know it better. Don't forget to check out the full user manual to learn more about the advanced settings and features. Thank you, and I hope you enjoyed this app.